making money from brands, making money from brands, making money from brands. I didn't realize that it was a conditioning, honestly. It was just the only one that I knew. And because in Africa, we don't see a lot of content creators really pursue other revenue streams, I was so locked into brands. Welcome to the A1 podcast. I'm your host, Moi, and today I want to talk about something that I honestly wish I knew when I was starting out my content creation journey. I feel like this would have saved me so much time, so much effort, and would have gotten me a lot more money if I'm honest. And that's the fact that as a content creator, especially in Africa, you need at least 3 monetization types. Now, the A1 has this incredible program called the Creator Monetization Sequence Program. And this is one of the things that I actually share in that program. And when I started, I thought what everybody else thought, right? You start creating content, you garner a following, an audience, subscribers, all of the above, and you get the attention of brands, and that's how you get paid, and that's how you make your money. And listen, there's a lot of creators like myself who did all of that, had incredible, community and audiences that they had built, which takes so much time, so much work, so much effort, and the money just wasn't doing the things. The money wasn't flowing personally, I felt like it needed to. For the amount of work I was putting out versus the amount of revenue that was coming in, I was like, I'm doing something wrong here. That's actually why I created the A1 Creators Table. So the very first event that the A1 ever created, the A1 Creators Table, I was so nervous to put out that event. It was 120 seats. And it was at the Radisson Red in Cape Town, and I had brands and content creators come together to talk about essentially building a career as a content creator and making money from it. And I remember that was a solution to the fact that I was just confused. I felt like I was doing everything wrong, and I need to bring people from the brand side, from the creator side to come together to talk about the subject. And that's actually how that event came about, which was great. We were sold out. It was really, really awesome. But my mind was, because no one told me this, and this I've learned through experience, I learned that I was so focused on what I thought was the only source of revenue as a content creator, which was making money from brands. Nigerians, we have this statement that if you grew up in a Nigerian household, there's a very high chance that you've heard it. And the phrase is essentially somebody will ask you, does that person have 2 heads? So if somebody achieves something and you maybe aspire to achieve it, or you feel like you can't achieve it, or whatever the case is. My dad used to be the one who would say it the most. He'd be like, hey, but does that person have 2 heads? I'm like, what? But essentially, that person has 1 head just like you. So if they can do it, you can do it. It's the most random, weird statement ever. But it always sticks with me. Okay, does that person have 2 heads? What's so special about that person that you can't achieve the same thing? Granted, every Nigerian household has probably heard about it, and it does not even take into consideration talent or unique skills or anything, but it does put you in the mindset of okay, if somebody else is achieving it, what am I doing wrong? What knowledge do I not have that I can gain to then achieve the same thing? And so the event, the A1 Creators Table, was one thing that we put together at the time, which was myself, and I was signed to a PR agency at the time, so they helped me put together the event. And even in the conversations, I felt like I didn't really get the answer. It was a fantastic conversation, very enlightening, but it didn't solve the problem per se. And so when I pitched to South African Airways, I saw an international YouTube channel. They still exist, I think. They're called Clever TV. And they used to have their videos on Delta Airlines. And I was like, that is so cool. I want to do that. And again, the Nigerian phrase, that person doesn't have 2 heads, so you can do it as well. So I pitched to SAA, And without knowing it, I was creating, well, knowing it, but also not knowing it. So I knew that it would hopefully bring another source of income, which is awesome. But I did not really know how impactful a passive revenue stream that was not dependent on brands would be. So one thing I really hope creators in Africa really do is to build their monetization with direct to consumer being their main focus, not the attention of brands. Because if you do that, you have more longevity and honestly, you have more peace of mind. So for example, I wish I'd spent more time like doing the events, like the A1 Creator Table. I wish we took it to Joburg, took it to the Free State, took it to the Eastern Cape. Like that could have brought in a lot more revenue because it was direct to consumer. But I was so focused on like trying to get brands to like come in and, sponsor content. SAA was great to do more of that, and to then, because I have a production company, to offer that service to more companies and stuff like that. So now in hindsight, obviously I know a lot more. Now when I advise a lot of creators, I tell them, have a direct to consumer. Let that be where the bulk of your energy goes when it comes to monetization. Now that consumer can be your followers, your audience. That consumer can be a company. Direct to consumer should be the cake. It should be the main source of dependable revenue. Then your brands should be the icing, and the third, which is the toppings, should be PR monetization. You should grow your direct to consumer to a point where okay, this amount of money comes in regularly because it's a lot more stable. And when you do that, you are a lot more free to pick which brands you want to work with, to charge them what you're worth and say no when they're like, oh, can we come in from here? Can we make this really cheaper? You can say no because you're not dependent on them. And then for me, an experience that then helped me realize the third monetization type was I was invited to speak at Heavy Chef. They still exist. They still do talks and stuff. Check them out. Heavy Chef. And when I was speaking about, content creation and my journey, I was speaking to people who were not content creators. They were they were corporates, they were CEOs, they were just other working individuals. And from there, I met an individual, I believe he was the CEO of, I don't know if I should say his name, but it's fine. He was this CEO of this company, and they used to have screens in taxis. Yes, they probably still do, I don't know, but they had screen in taxis. And by this time, I already had my deal with SAA. So I was like, oh, we were chatting or whatever, and I was like, oh, I did this deal with SAA. Maybe I can do this deal with you for like our shows to air in your taxis. And I realized that I need to do more of this. Like, I need to speak at more events where I'm in front of people who are not in the creator world, because it can open up so many more opportunities. And in hindsight, the pandemic, 2021, and then creating the Creator Monetization Secrets program in 2022, I realized, over that time, I slowly started to combine all this information when I actually had the time to stop, reflect, see what worked, see what wasn't. And that's how I came up with the 3 monetization types every creator needs. So your direct to consumer, and then your brands. Yeah, the icing on the cake is the brands. And then your toppings is your PR, what I call PR monetization. So with the A1 Creator Monetization Secrets program, that's what we help creators really set up to help them find the right direct-to-consumer product for them or services for them, and then help them build with brands, and then the PR monetization. For the full version of this chat, make sure you check it out on all available podcast platforms. So let me know in the comment section below. If you are a creator, do you have a direct-to-consumer offering? If you are not a content creator, but you love watching, the content that creators are putting out, I'm really curious about this actually. If you're not a content creator, have you ever spent money because a content creator has launched a product, a service, an event, an experience? Let me know, comment section down below. I really want to know. I'm going to take some time reading that in the comment section. And if you want to be featured on our video podcast and you have a question that you want us to go through, email us at askmoy@theA1.co. And so yeah, that is it from me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, but also don't forget to like and subscribe. Click on that notification bell. And if you want to know more about pitching to brands, in our last Q&A episode we spoke to a peer all about pitching. So to check that video out, click right here, and the next video will be next week, and so I will see you then. Bye.